Tonight, Bundaberg homes go under as Queensland's flood crisis spreads. Mass evacuations from towns where all hope has been lost.
Devastation revealed with water levels slowly receding on the Darling Downs.
The floodgates opened as Wivenhoe Dam reaches its highest level in more than 10 years.
And with the Ashes gone, will Ricky Ponting follow after Australia's humiliation?
And England have retained the Ashes.
This is 7 News with Patrick Condren and Talitha Cummins.
Good evening. Bundaberg is tonight the latest Queensland city to go underwater as the heartache from the state's disastrous flood spreads. Reporter Carly Waters is there, and Carly, it's been a battle for survival for these residents.
It has, Talitha. Locals haven't seen anything like this for decades. Floods here haven't got this high for almost 70 years. And the race to escape the danger zones around Bundaberg began early today.
Nervous night ahead. Thanks, Carly.
Across the state, people have been removed from their homes in 12 towns or cities. More than 700 flood victims are now homeless. Theodore is the first Queensland community ever to be completely evacuated. Reporter Erin Edwards was one of those flown out today. Erin, what was the scene like?
Well, Pat, we were actually on the last flight out of the town, a police aircraft with us and the final 3 residents on board. Now, extra police have been flown into the abandoned town. They'll guard it to the best of their ability. Pat, residents have been told they could be here at Mowra for a week. Now, some of the anger we saw with locals yesterday has now eased. They're just glad to have food and a dry bed. Pat.
Difficult days. Erin Edwards, thank you.
Premier Bligh has launched a disaster relief appeal with a $1 million donation. Contributions can be made at most banks, online at qld.gov.au/floods or by phone on 1800 219 028.
There are more communities waiting nervously in the path of predicted major flooding. One of those is Emerald, where water levels are expected to exceed those seen in 2008. Reporter Peter Doherty is in Emerald. Peter, what's the latest there?
Patrick, a short time ago, the Vince Lester Bridge was closed to regular traffic, and any moment now water will start flowing across the roadway, cutting this town in two, with the Nagoya River rising by about 10 centimetres each hour. Now, 2008 was a disaster here with 200 homes inundated. Today, residents were warned this flood will be 30 centimetres higher. After the flood devastates Emerald, the water will continue downstream, joining the massive sea heading towards Rockhampton. Currently, they're expecting around 400 homes to have water around them, about 50 homes water inside, but authorities admit they still don't know how high that water will go. Pat?
Peter Doherty in Emerald, thank you.
In the Darling Downs, the town of Dalby has only 2 days' drinking supply left after its water treatment plant was damaged. And further west in Chinchilla, water levels have begun to fall, exposing the damage, but they could rise again within days.
The water levels dropped in Chinchilla overnight, but boat is still the best form of transport. It's the only way to access Brady Phillips' home. He and his family managed to stack their belongings up high before the flood hit. Some things couldn't be saved.
And for the latest on the weather, Angie Asimus joins us now.
Talitha, the trough responsible for this week's relentless rain has moved north. That's taken some of the pressure off already flooded towns in the state's centre. The worst of the rain is now on the central coast over Mackay and Bowen. Thunderstorms and moderate rain is expected to continue in those districts tonight. It is weakening, but the system still has the potential to dump 100mm falls there. Thankfully, a dry southerly change will keep pushing that unstable weather on. For now, there's no more heavy rain expected to hit the southeast for a couple of days at least, and I'll have more details shortly.
Thanks, Angie. Wivenhoe Dam has reached its highest level in more than a decade. All 5 gates were opened today. 7 News reporter Kim Scubris is at Wivenhoe. Kim, flooding is now expected along the Brisbane River.
That's right, Pat, but mostly in the upper sections. Wivenhoe Dam's supply level is currently at a staggering 122%. It hasn't been close to this level since February 1999, when it peaked at 135%. Authorities say reduced flows in the Lockyer Creek and Bremer River mean it's now the right time to release water from Wivenhoe, and this will continue until the end of the week to ensure the flood storage compartment is emptied to make room for any future inflows. The impact will be felt mostly east of the dam towards Mount Crosby, where the water levels are predicted to rise about 11 metres, but levels around Brisbane are only expected to rise about 20 centimetres. So at this stage, Brisbane City Council isn't expecting any disruptions to New Year's Eve fireworks celebrations along the river. Pat.
Thanks, Kim.